Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Kate and I love all things makeup, skincare, beauty, and fun. Today we are going to be talking about what I think are the worst and ugliest, some of these are the ugliest launches of 2023. This is just my opinion. If you love these products, that does not mean I think you are ugly. That does not mean I think you are bad or have bad taste. It's okay to have different opinions on things and still enjoy each other and still respect each other. Makeup is one of those things that I think resonates with so many people because there's so many options right now and there are so many ways to do something similar. And some of these things I just think are not for moi, and I think they're ugly. Again, it's nothing towards you if you disagree. So without any further ado, if you enjoy this type of content, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel, and let's go. Okay, so the first one, I do not think it's ugly. I do not think it's ugly. I don't understand the size, and it is the palette that they did with P. Louise and Makeup Michaela, I can't ever say her last name. Galera, I don't. You know her. You have probably strong feelings about her on TikTok. She created the To Have and to Hold in Case You Get Cold palette with P. Louise. Couple things about this. First of all, the size. I don't know how most people have their makeup set up. Maybe some folks don't have like a large collection, and so something like this would allow you certainly to have a lot of neutrals, a lot of blues, a sprinkle of purple, and then some really light pastel blue / white shades. And maybe for some folks that works out, and I'm sure it does, because I'm sure that this palette sold a number of units. P. Louise has a cult following. They have, I've never tried them, but folks rave about their formulas. People really seem to love their formulas and their products. And Michaela is a polarizing figure. I somehow am pretty neutral about her. I don't think she's like a bad person. I just think she gets lost in the sauce sometimes. So, you just kind of have to keep your eye on her, but I don't think she's a bad person by any stretch of the imagination. This palette though is just not for moi. So let's just really look at this for a second. Let's just really take a peek. The shimmers are beautiful, 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 beautiful. However, it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 shimmers. And this palette, mind you, has 1, 2, okay, maybe 12, because that one looks like it might be a shimmer. 1, 2, 6, 12, 18, 24, 36, 42, 48, 54, 60. 60 shadows in this palette, which is bonkers. Again, I guess if you're somebody that has a smaller collection and these colors are nowhere to be found in your collection, having it all in one could certainly be useful. I can totally see that. For me, that is not the case. I have a few eyeshadow palettes, and I have a lot of these colors multiple times over. So for me, that part doesn't make sense. But what makes less sense is that there are apparently 12 shimmers in a 60 eyeshadow pan palette. And in my opinion, I don't know. I just think that that's bizarre. And a lot of the bulk of those shimmers are super light. Now, hear me out. I know a lot of folks, myself included, I do not want to have my mattes create less depth than my shimmers. I don't want that. And I think that probably reigns true for a lot of us. But the trouble, of course, with the only seemingly deeper shimmer shade is that blue one. but like it looks like there's several other blues that are maybe mid-tone, but I would argue that they're pretty light in like tone. And then the purple is like touching that mid-tone line, but it's still pretty light. And then of course all the neutrals are like pretty light. So I just think that if you're gonna have this big of a palette, it would have it seems like a bit of a missed opportunity to not have depth across the board, because there's a lot of light shades in terms of mattes. And then the vast majority, like almost all of the shimmers are like a lighter tone. I just think that there could have been more done with this. And it's I feel like it's a missed opportunity. Needless to say, it's absolutely not for me. I think I've talked to death about how it's not for me, but if you enjoy it, I enjoy it for you. It's a no for me. I do actually want to, though, try P. Louise. I think it's going to be one of my brands that I put on my like docket to try for 2024. I'm going to be doing a video about that later on. And I think P. Louise is going to make the cut. They did this thing too, I guess, at launch, where they had an American website that they didn't tell people about prior to launch, which it's like, I don't blame Michaela for this. I blame P. Louise team for this. It's like, guys, don't you think that would be a key piece of information that you are giving to your consumers who are buying something because they adore a woman online from Massachusetts? Like, maybe lead with that. Lead with it. I not blame Michaela for that mishap. That was the P. Louise team. Like, they are the ones launching. They are the ones doing the marketing. Like, this is on them. They should have thought of that, but I digress. This next one, I don't necessarily think it's ugly. I just don't understand. These are the new palettes by Hourglass. And here is the thing. If you have an Hourglass palette anywhere in your collection, you have these two. Yes, they vary in tone. So I guess, in theory, you could have a light, a medium, and a dark palette. Hourglass is one of those brands that has struggled since the dawn of time in terms of inclusivity with their colored cosmetics. These are $90 palettes. You're getting 6 pans. I still have some of mine. The formula is nice. It's a pretty buildable, like, sheer everyday formula. So I can see if you are somebody that like enjoys that kind of makeup, you don't want a punchy blush, you don't want a lot of bronzer, you want like a really ethereal highlighter and like a really like soft lit, face powder. I see how these products appeal to people. What I don't understand is how they keep managing to launch these palettes every single year, and the price only gets more and more staggering. I'm pretty sure the last time I bought one of these palettes, I paid $75 to $80. They're now up to $90. I don't understand. I don't understand. It's like, yes, the packaging is like nifty. I don't like the snake one, but I don't like snakes. But I guess I just don't understand how this keeps happening. And what's worse is that I like see so many people, even people that I really like, in terms of content creation, talk about these every single year. And I'm like, guys, $90 for the palette. And the reality of the situation is that if you are somebody that is going for soft, natural, ethereal makeup, you've already bought this palette. Because their color changes each year are not enough to like even be able to tell a grand difference on the skin. I just don't get it. I absolutely don't get it. Speaking of things I don't get, and this is an unpopular opinion, and I'm like super aware of that. So is probably the Hourglass one. This launch by Patrick Ta. I don't get it. I don't own any of the Major Dimension eyeshadows. Patrick Ta, as a whole, I have some of his blushes, but in terms of like eyeshadow goes, it's been very neutral. Very, 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 very neutral. I've seen people rave about his palettes, so I can certainly see how there's a market for them. I just don't know. And this palette is not cost effective by any stretch of the imagination. This is a pretty hefty price tag. I don't have it in front of me, of course, because that would have been that would have been smart. So I didn't do that. But I know that these are well over $50, and it's an all matte neutral eye palette. I'm like, what is going on? What is going on? I guess if you are somebody that like neutral is your thing and matte is your thing, and you don't have a big eyeshadow collection and you're looking for like one staple palette, this is for you. This could be for you. I hear the formulas are great. I can't attest to them, but I hear great things. However, this went absolutely bananas viral, and I don't understand it, because it's, if you have 50 palettes alone in your collection, you have these colors. You don't need this. You don't need this. I just think it's boring. It's unoriginal. It's boring. I don't love that. I don't love that. There is not a world that I can imagine myself buying that palette immediately now. These by Jacqueline Cosmetics. I have no idea what's going on with that brand, by the way. On Ulta, a lot of her stuff is super discounted, and then on their website, or sold, like completely sold out, and then on her website, a lot of stuff is completely sold out, and it's all 50% off. I think that brand is shutting down, but that's not what this is about. These are their Vanity Light Glazed Luminizers. A transforming high shine balm that brings your true radiance to light. No. Who asked for this? Who wrote in to Forma Brands and said, you know what we're looking for? A glazed balm. Like, no. I don't. Who asked for this? Okay, so here's the thing. First of all, I'm trying to think of when these launched. I don't think these launched. Maybe if they launched in summertime and I'm mistaken, then like, okay, fine. I guess like maybe in the summertime when we're not wearing a ton of foundation, or if you're somebody in general that doesn't wear a ton of foundation, like maybe you're going for this. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that not many were, because I didn't see anyone talking about these. Literally anyone. Balm, to me, I hear it and I think of like a greasier consistency, because otherwise you would just come out with cream highlighters. I know she's already done that. Those did well. I actually have some in my collection. I enjoy them. They're nice. I just don't know who is asking for this. I don't know who is asking for this. And the other thing here is that the shades are a little confusing. So there's the I'm Ethereal, which is a warm silver. I'm Radiant, a golden peach. I'm Luminous, a golden pink. I'm Brilliant, a burnt rose. And I'm Dazzling. So I guess the other thing that I don't understand is like, so is it for the cheeks? Because it's giving kind of like highlighter. It's giving kind of like blush. I don't know. It's just confusing. There wasn't a ton of marketing about it. There wasn't a lot of promotion about it. And it was just confusing and kind of got lost in the sauce. So it's a no. These, by Urban Decay. I talked about these in a new makeups release earlier this year at some point, I'm sure. And they were part of their Hydromaniac line. I love that foundation. So many people, I feel like, do indeed love that foundation. And then literally they launched and I didn't hear a peep. A literal peep about them. That being said though, like the Hydromaniac foundation, one of the things that I like about it is that of course it's like hydrating. So for my combination skin at the age of 34, that's really good for me in the wintertime living in New England. But for blush, I just don't know. I don't know that it translates, because the other thing that like I don't know about these, but what I could gather is that they're going to be pretty sheer, because that foundation is not a full coverage foundation. So I just don't know that that beloved formula in the Hydromaniac foundation is going to transfer well to the cheeks. And consequently, I heard crickets about this launch. I have no idea. I have no idea who bought it. I have no idea who liked it. I have no idea. This one by Melt. Makes me sad. Makes me sad. I actually have the Christmas Down palette on my eyes right now. This is the Electric collection. So a couple things about this one. I feel like Melt has done all of these colors before. So I feel like the color story for the average consumer is going to be kind of challenging. If you're somebody that loves color, I could see you getting into this because red and blue are going to like play well together. There's like a touch of neutrality there with the brown and the dark gold there in the center. But the reality I feel is that Melt has done this all before. And then, of course, it came out after the fact that the quality was poor at best, and people really did not like this. I've been watching so many declutters lately, and I think that, like, the vast majority, if not all, of my favorite content creators that play with Melt Cosmetics have decluttered this palette. So I just kind of think it's ugly. I think the packaging is ugly. I think the color story is unoriginal. I think this is a flop. Again, this is not an ugly product. This is just a product that I'm glad I didn't buy. This is by Kosas. This was their Dream Beam Moisturizing Mineral Sunscreen SPF 40. I heard so many reviews talking about this, saying that it was greasy, that it did not allow makeup to set well on top of it. Here's the thing. If you are a makeup brand releasing skincare or releasing, which I guess sunscreen kind of falls into that. But if you're releasing skincare or sunscreen and you're a makeup brand, you have so many ample opportunities to verify how it's going to wear. Like, hello. It was also pretty expensive. It was around $40 and it's a pretty small container. All in all, I just don't understand. I debated it for a bit. I debated picking it up, but I'm so grateful that I didn't. I'm so grateful did not. This launch was the holiday launch for Haus Labs. I'm like, is Stephanie, aka Lady Gaga, actually behind this? I'm beginning to think she's not. I'm beginning to think she's the face, because I'm just finding it so hard to believe that Lady Gaga, the Lady Gaga, Alejandro, Bad Romance, that Lady Gaga made this makeup. I just immediately know they're ugly. They are ugly. The prettiest part about, I'm specifically talking about the palettes. The prettiest part are the shimmers. The bottom palette is just boring. It has been done 15,000 times over. You didn't come out with an innovative formula. You didn't come out with an innovative color story. I can see how maybe if you're a neutral lover, I guess. But then the top one isn't even cohesive. The matte, all the way at the end, is the darkest one. But the shimmer, that purple shimmer is like too dark, in my opinion, to kind of go with the color story. I mean, I guess if you're deepening everything up with that matte, but then there's the random green. This is just ugly. These are just ugly or stupid. Like, who was buying these? And they were expensive too. They were $50 each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shades for $50. On top of the fact that the color stories are unoriginal and ugly. They're $50. Immediately no. So, like, no. I love Nomad Cosmetics. But this was an absolute no. What is going on? This was their travel palette. It came out with, like, a launch of, like, skincare items. So, a couple things. No. Across the board, no. It's a 6-pan palette. No. It has the most unoriginal, uninspiring shades in it. No. That being said, I could see how if you are somebody that indeed travels a lot, which makes sense for the brand. I see where they were going with this. They are, the founders of the brand are folks that travel a lot, and they use their travel as inspiration to create colored cosmetics. It's very cool. Their cosmetics, generally speaking, very cool. So I can see how they would create something that's like really easy, really portable for folks that are like-minded and able, both bodied and resource-wise, to travel a lot. And this palette is going to allow folks to be able to do that. Sure. Cool. It's not from moi. So we'll start there. Like, I'm not that person that has infinite resources where I can travel further than the end of my driveway into work. But I think where I'm confused about this is that, like, they do have the two shades on the end, the darker matte and then it's a darker shimmer, but I feel like most of these shades are going to be very everyday for someone with the name Kate, for someone with the name Jessica, for someone with my skin tone or lighter. I don't think that if you are somebody that like has medium, dark, deep dark skin, this is going to be like a go-to palette. Could be wrong, but I just think that like they kind of missed the mark on that a bit. And it's just so underwhelming. It's so underwhelming. I love Nomad Cosmetics. I have a handful of eyeshadow palettes from them. I love them. I hate this. Another brand that I enjoy, LMR Cosmetics. And I love Flamin' Hot Cheetos. I love those things. I hate this. I hate this. Immediately no. Just, okay. So the highlighter I could see being kind of cute if it has like that orange hint to it. The palette, immediately no. I can see, like, again, if you are somebody that loves Hot Cheetos or you love LMR Cosmetics and you're like, oh my god, this is like fun and whatever, I can see that. For me, I hate quads in general, so this is an automatic no matter what the color story is. But the fact that the colors included in here are black, an orange red, a bright orange, and a silver. No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Furthermore, I didn't see a single soul talk about this. I didn't see a single soul saying they wanted to get their grubby hands on this. I didn't see a single soul actually get their grubby hands on this. I have a palette by LMR Cosmetics. I have some blushes that I absolutely love by LMR Cosmetics. This was absolutely ugly. So ugly. The Naked Metal Mania palette. Hideous. Hideous. I recently saw, I want to say it was Leah Janae. It could have been someone else though. Was it Leah Janae? I don't know. It was somebody online talking about this palette and talking about the quality of this palette being really, really good. And I don't doubt that, because for me, my gripe with with Urban Decay has never been that they have bad quality. It's that they don't do color stories that anyone wants to see. This is on that list. This is in fact at the top of that list. They have their typical warm neutrals that they keep in every single palette. The other end, they have some cool toned neutrals, like a really dark cool toned brown and a black. And then of course it's Metal Mania, so I understand it's gonna have more like shimmer shades than others. With, in my humble opinion, the most incohesive color story. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Who asked for that bright yellow gold next to a bright purple? I hate it. I hate this palette. It's so ugly. And I want to see Urban Decay do well. I have had a slew of Naked palettes over the years, and I've loved them. I've loved them. If you're looking for something really innovative and different and bright, Urban Decay is no longer going to be it. I don't know how they got off that trajectory, but they did. That's not who they are anymore. If you're looking for really quality, easy, everyday, neutral palettes, Urban Decay's gotcha. This, absolutely gross. I hate it. Grosser still are these by Gucci. Gross. These little quads. The packaging is beautiful. I will give them that. The outside packaging. That is where it ends. That is absolutely where it ends. So not only do these quads retail for $70 each, but the color stories are hideous. The first one with the teal, it looks like a white, maybe that's the shimmer, red, and a muted dusty purple. Who is creating an eye look with that they're proud of? Who? So ugly. So ugly. The other one, let's just venture down below it, has a deep rose, a deeper musty is right, but it's like a deeper smoky purple. Across from that deep kind of like dusty purple, you have a bright coral, and then you have a mid-tone rose shimmer. Speaking of cohesive eye looks, it's not giving that. I just think that these are ugly. I think that these were not well thought out. And I'm picturing like who among us is paying $70 for a quad, right? You have that person in your mind. Are they wearing teal, red, and lilac? I don't think they are. Together, no less, because it's a quad. You have 4 colors to pick from. No. Urban Decay. I'm sorry. I feel like I am picking on them. I have things from Urban Decay that I love, so I don't dislike the brand. Just to be clear, I do dislike these. The packaging was so cute, so fun, and I was so excited for these palettes to not look like this, and then they did, unfortunately, look like this. This was their, like, Smiley collection, not really sure. Both of the palettes are no. The Smiley one is less of a no, in the sense that I like the yellow and I like the blue, but the problem is that they paired it with really light to like light mid-tone neutrals. No. And then the other one, I like the matte better in the fact that it has like that like bright coral pop, but then that coral, I'm not really sure how it's tying in necessarily to those purple/pinks. I hate that like deep purple shade. I just like, I can picture it, and it's reminding me of like a purple shade that was super popular in the late 90s, early 2000s. I don't like that purple shade. I just thought that these were underwhelming. So underwhelming. It's like, I just don't understand how so many of these mainstream brands look around, take a peek into the indie eyeshadow community, and then launch something like this and think it's gonna like compete. This is not competing with anything. This is like, yes, it's a step above Wet n Wild because the formula is better and the packaging is nice. It is not competing with the indie brands who are creating beautiful mattes and beautiful shimmers and beautiful duo and multi-chromes. It's just not. I'm done being a total wench. If you enjoyed any of these, I do not think you are boring. I do not think you are ugly. I do not think you are a bad person. I think you're great. I think you're beautiful. I think you're inspiring. I just don't like these products. They did not interest me. I did not put my little grubby hands into them. It's a no for me. I feel like, again, there's so many makeup products on the market that we all get to have pieces that are meant exactly for us and our preferences. These are just not my preferences, right? So that doesn't mean you are. Again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you thought I missed any of the ugliest or worst or weirdest launches of 2023. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would love it so much if you would subscribe to my channel down below. And as always, please stay happy, stay healthy, and stay blessed. And I will see you on the next video. Bye.